Flour and crumbs and crumbs. So much crumbs. Breadcast, the breadcast. Yum, 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 yum.
Wow. Guys, welcome to the Breadcast. I'm your I'm your host, Joe Saunders. This is a really special episode of the Breadcast. We are live here at BugCon 2019 in a room off the lobby in the Burbank Marriott near the Burbank Airport. I guess, we've never done an episode like this before. I guess in terms of Baz Luhrmann's filmography, there's nothing really to compare it to. But if I had to compare it to something, I would say it was probably like when Baz helped craft a live performance at the 81st Academy Awards, saluting the history of musicals. But unlike Baz, who had, Zac Efron and Vanessa Hudgens, I have the next best thing. I have my two guests today. I have a couple of other stars, Farley Elliott and Evan Susser.
Thanks so much for having us.
Hi, guys.
I'm your Paris-Brest, guest, Farley Elliott.
What'd you say?
Paris-Brest is like a type of pastry.
Oh,
it's like the
okay.
thing that you do, but then I did my own.
I got it.
I hope it goes over well.
It is. Hi, Evan. Are you down there?
I am. I'm debating if it's too late for me to leave. But
how are you doing?
I'm good. We're really cooking. Cooking.
Well done. That was really good.
Sorry.
You guys at home, you can't see the audience. They're rolling.
Yeah. We've got it. We've got a live audience.
1 to 5 people.
Yep.
What do you guys think of BugCon so far? You just got in here?
Elaborate.
It is elaborate.
Yeah, we're right across from a big display for the Americana Twitter account, the Americana memes.
Yeah.
It's a very impressive display. There's a whole wall of the Americana. There's a man in a booth that says, "The Galleria is a glorified parking lot. Changed my mind." There's a
Steven Crowder, parody of Steven Crowder.
Yes,
who's in the news right now.
There's a long list for the Cheesecake Factory. Mm-hmm. That's a true thing that you experience if you go to the Americana. It's a long list.
Yeah, a long wait list of people trying to
get in. I was most impressed by a video of the fountain show at the Americana.
on loop.
Yeah, this is, it's fulfilled all of my expectations.
And so, Joe, how early did you have to get on the BugCon list in order to actually be able to get a table here? It seems like one of the most hopping events of the year.
It was a whole mysterious process. Through the Breadcast Twitter account, I got a DM one day from the BugCon account, or maybe it was just the Bug Main account at that time, with just a link to fill out a form.
Mm-hmm. I also got such a DM, and I did not respond.
Interesting.
And
I guess there's
said multiple times, no interest.
They reached out to you multiple times?
Yes.
Wow.
And yet, when you reached out to me, Joe,
wow,
I said I couldn't say no to my chance to be on the Breadcast.
Wow, this is incredible. This is a big get for us. You're, of course, the host of the Deli Boys.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Probably the best get you've had. And
okay.
Farley also.
Farley is actually our first semi-professional food person that's been on the show.
Yeah, I've been doing this for a while. The semi part feels a little unnecessary, Joe, but that's okay. That's okay.
Farley, what's happening? You've got your finger on the pulse of the food world. What is happening? Is anything happening with bread right now?
Oh, yeah. Los Angeles for a long time was playing second fiddle to places like San Francisco in the rustic bread movement.
Sure.
Tartine, all that stuff started up in San Francisco, and now we're really having a kind of bread moment. Places like Clark Street Bread or Bub and Grandma's are really not only redefining what bread has historically been seen as in Los Angeles. Most people would have eschewed it 5 years ago, and now everyone just eating it all the time. And even the bread in restaurants has gotten really fantastic. And so you're starting to see subgenres today of people doing really specific baking things within that. I was at a coffee shop this morning run by a woman who just makes traditional German pastries out of her house in Atwater Village and sells them inside of a coffee shop.
Whoa.
It's all happening.
Wow.
And is this bread boom connected to the breadcast?
I think there's probably a direct correlation, similar to how Deli
Deli
Boys,
Boom,
it just boomed because of you guys. It's
Right.
unbelievable.
Wow.
You get one right up in the Jewish Journal, and all of a sudden the city wants in financially.
Yeah, Jewish Deli Forward.
Oh, my apologies. My apologies. Competing organizations.
Well, I guess let's get on to our very first segment of the show, guys. Now, this is actually a new segment that you guys don't know about because it was debuted in an episode that hasn't been released yet.
Wow.
Wow.
But I've gotten some comments that the breakcast isn't funny enough.
Were these presented in a good-natured and helpful way?
I've seen the comments. No. Do
Sometimes they were, but sometimes they're very harsh.
you want to pull them up?
No. We can just acknowledge their general existence. So I've introduced a new comedy segment into the breadcast that hopefully we'll get some laughs out of. It's time for a segment I call the Tower of Flour.
Oh, okay.
So if you'll see in front of you right here, there's 3 plastic cups labeled A, B, and C.
Sure.
We're gonna play a little game, classic podcast game, where you guys have to going by appearance, texture, smell, and if you want taste.
Okay.
Tell me what each of these flours are.
Oh my God.
Great.
yeah.
Do you think you could name 3 types
No.
of flour, Evan?
Well, I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna give you some multiple choice.
Okay.
Great.
Okay. So do you guys want to take these? Oh,
Yeah, here.
How many flowers can you name, Farley?
I could, if pressed, probably name 6 to 8 types of flour.
Oh my gosh.
All right. The types of flour that there potentially are oat flour, bread flour, 00 Italian flour, and the last one is human ashes.
I'm going to make a guess. I think that's how it should work. The first person to say, I'm going to make a guess.
You're just gonna make a guess? Okay.
Bread flour.
Which,
A
which-
is bread flour?
A is bread
That's
flour.
what I'm guessing.
I'm sorry, that's incorrect.
Nah, damn. Farley, do you have a guess on A?
It really benefits the person to go second. 'Cause you-
Yeah.
Can you read the list again?
yeah. Bread flour, 00 Italian flour, oat flour, and human ashes.
I think that A is 00.
Farley, you're correct.
B, what are our options?
Yeah, B. So the options are still the same. It's
Oh,
00 Italian flour.
okay.
Bread
I have a
flour.
guess.
Okay.
Oat flour.
So for the sake of the podcast, I'll say it's bread flour.
Farley, you're correct. It's bread flour.
Okay, this one's oat flour. I have a guess.
Now, hang on.
We're now to C.
I have a question. Has anyone in your family died recently?
Wow. What if someone has?
It might change Evan's guess.
No, nobody's died recently.
Okay.
Happy to hear it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
God bless.
So we're now to C here, and the options are still bread flour, 00 Italian flour, oat flour, and human ashes.
Evan?
Yeah, I already said. The
Oat flour?
flour.
Oat flour.
I think it's human ashes.
I'm sorry, you're both incorrect. This one was a trick one. This is
Semolina
semolina flour. It was actually not an option that was anywhere on it.
That sucks.
That's
But
fair.
as soon as I said you
yes.
as soon as I said you didn't get it, you knew what it was.
Yes,
though.
of course. But I'm like, I have to play within the parameters of the game, and then I got stabbed in the back.
Well, the rules are what you think they are on the broadcast.
Wow.
Okay, well, guys, thanks for playing the Tower of Flour.
We
Okay.
lost one of our audience members.
To be clear, this is the single funny segment for the podcast.
Yeah,
Got it. Understood.
I hope people like it. Okay, let's taste our baked good today.
Sure.
You got it right here and wrapped in front of you.
Should I grab the plates and stuff too?
Yeah, yes, if you don't
Evan,
mind.
will you
Evan,
tell a
will you
little bit
know
of
that
that for the podcast?
Now, guys, for this semi-live episode of the Breadcast, I made kind of a pretty simple thing, but something that I think is very tasty that I made several times.
Okay.
This is a chocolate chip pumpkin bread.
Wow. It's very not seasonal of you. What made you pull this one out of the repertoire?
You're right, it's not seasonal. This is perfect in I mean, Halloween time, obviously, but
Pumpkin
also like
spice season.
Should we not have the end? This is never discussed on the podcast.
the end piece. I personally am not a big fan of the end piece, but you can have the end piece.
Well, I just don't know. It's not very representative.
Let's talk. We can talk about it.
I would say if you
I would feel like I would have to have 2 slices then.
Okay.
This man is truly a master.
Thanks for cutting that up, Evan. Evan's slicing into it. So
ahead.
but this is just such a good, and I think this could work as a kind of a spring summertime bread because you stick it in the fridge, it gets nice and cool.
A summertime bread?
Maybe not a summer. Well, this is a very loose. This isn't even really a bread. It's more of a cake.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, is everything up for conversation here? Can we talk about appearance, texture, taste, all of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a classic quick bread recipe. It's literally just a combination of sugar, butter, eggs, vanilla, canned pumpkin, flour, baking powder, baking soda, salt, cinnamon, cloves, nutmeg, milk, which I stepped almond milk for this, and chocolate chips. You mix it all up, pour it in a bread pan, stick the bread pan in the oven for about an hour at 350 degrees. It comes out like this.
Is there any pumpkin spice?
I didn't put any pumpkin spice. I have some pumpkin spice, and I thought about putting it in, but I thought maybe just the canned pumpkin would kind of do me okay.
I think you made the right call.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, pumpkin is one of those flavors I think that can ultimately be overwhelming to a dish.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I know that it's obviously a quick bread, so there's not a traditional rise in other breads. How do you find the texture and consistency of this bread versus other times you've made similar quick breads?
I think this is. I mean, it's much more cakey. It's
Yeah, it's not to borrow a phrase from Paul Hollywood. It may be slightly underbaked.
This is a tough one to. The recipe says to bake it for 45 minutes, but I took
Right.
it out and I was like, this thing's not done. So I
Right.
stuck it in there another. Ended up being over 15 more minutes.
Wow.
And it came out like this.
I
But maybe it is a little underbaked.
I think it's very good, but you do have. I would venture to say if we got right to the middle of this, Evan, if you wanted to keep cutting,
Yeah, I'm happy to.
that there's just even more softness there, which is a type of bread that
I kind of like.
delicious.
I kind of like the softness, to be honest.
Yeah, I enjoy the softness too.
Yeah,
So
I don't have a problem with it.
I've made quick breads where sometimes it gets a little dried out in the middle, and then that's like no
That
fun.
seems like
Right.
death.
That's no fun to eat. You got to put stuff on it. It's a real pain.
Right. I would rather skew towards like a almost doughy consistency, like eating. Yeah, it's not bad. It's just very.
That's not too bad.
I like it. Good work, Joe.
I think it's great.
You think? Is it? I feel like it tastes.
My
good.
wife makes pumpkin chocolate chip cookies,
Ooh,
and I love them, and this reminds me of them in a great way.
ooh, that's good.
I gotta tell her that there's a recipe that you can just make those cookies as bread.
Yeah,
And
I've made
have
this.
all our sandwiches on it.
I made this for my job and took it into work a few times.
Wow.
Big hit, devoured.
So when you've made it previously, did you also find then that you had to like take it out at the designated time and then realize that it still needed more and left it back in?
Yeah,
Do you think that's a fault of the recipe you're using, or a weaker oven, or what is the issue?
I do think my oven is older.
Okay.
So it's maybe not as it's maybe not really getting me up to, what did I say, 350 degrees.
Right.
But it also, I don't know. It's hard to know. I don't know. Maybe that person is at a different altitude than I am.
Right. I just feel like you run into this sometimes with recipes where you read it and then like your mileage varies the few times that you do it, so you end up adding more time or increasing heat. And I'm always like, these people who get paid to make these recipes obviously know what they're doing and they're trying to standardize it. That's the point of the recipe. So
Yeah.
what's happening in your home that means you have to put it in for an extra 15 minutes? I don't know.
Well, this recipe was, I did get this recipe, this specific one, from a website called tastebetterfromscratch.com.
Great. Is it a personal blog? Of
It
some
is a
kind?
personal blog. It's run by a woman named Lauren, who is a mother of 3.
Wow.
So she's got 3 kids running around.
Any update on the children's names or whereabouts?
I haven't dug too far into that yet.
Okay.
I guess we should rate this thing.
Okay.
Now, in the broadcast, we always choose a new rating system each time. I kind of leave it up to the guest to choose the rating system. What would you guys like to use to rate this?
Evan?
Well, it would make sense that we would do bugs because we're here at BugCon, but there's
Yeah,
no way
that's
I'm going to
really
do
good.
that. There's no way.
Okay.
I want to distance ourselves as much as possible.
Yeah.
What is the enemy of a bug?
I
Birds?
guess-
Birds?
Birds? Birds. So let's rate on birds.
Birds. Okay, that's nice. Let's say, what if we said like 1 to 100 birds?
Wow.
I love that. So 100 representing the entirety of a flock. Like a
Yes.
giant flock of swallows.
Yeah,
or
I guess you
something.
could say, if I don't want to say 100 birds, you could say a flock. I'd give this a flock of birds. 50 would be a half a flock.
Right. Okay.
So I guess we should speak in terms of
Percentages.
segments of a flock.
Right.
Um,
I would say, are we rating it on different scales or we're doing one overall?
It's up to you.
Okay. Wow. I think for what this thing is aiming to do, I think it certainly satisfies in that regard.
Yes.
I would prefer it to be slightly fluffier, as I said. So otherwise, I'm happy with it. I think a little like whipped cream on the side, or like a little like just a warm, rich cup of coffee in the morning.
Yeah,
if it's
that would be
particularly cold. Anything like that is going to boost this for me.
Guess what?
Whoa, Evan's got a
my
big
gosh.
cup of coffee. What? It took a sip too.
I will give this. I'll give this 78 birds.
That's incredible.
Just
That's
over 3. I think this
just over 3/4 of a flock.
This absolutely executes on its premise, and I can tell that you're comfortable with the recipe, and it's baked well.
Yeah, this is a fun one. I just like doing this at home. I could eat this whole thing by myself.
Joe,
Susser, yeah.
I agree. And you know what? Farley's right. With a cup of coffee, this thing is great.
Whoa.
I haven't really had breakfast this morning. I was hungry coming into this thing. I thought of getting a croissant at the coffee shop when I got my coffee, but I said, Joe, that'll probably be insulting. And he said, yes, it would be.
It would be.
And this has hit the spot. It's not, and I gotta be honest, I would prefer to have my wife's pumpkin chocolate chip cookies, but this is a bread. It's not competing in the cookie category.
It's not a cookie.
So I'm going to give this 90% of a flock.
What?
Wow.
90% of a flock?
It was great. It's a great dessert. I could eat the whole thing.
That's-
I probably will.
Wow. Okay. I can't believe it. I'm stunned and flattered.
You did great, Joe. Also, I'm comparing versus the other things that you've made.
Okay.
It's much better.
Okay. Wait. Have you had other things that I've made?
Yeah, I had one sourdough.
Okay. Oh, wow. Yeah, I would give this, you know what? I'm going to kind of lean more toward, I'm going to give this a 85% of a flock.
You
Okay.
were so stressed out by the 90. It's only 5 less.
Well, yeah, I was like, you're going over
5 birds
80?
is a lot
You're
of
going- Yeah,
birds.
it is a lot of birds.
Do you think this is the best one you've made?
The best of these pumpkin breads? I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, I think it's pretty good. Maybe could have baked like a little bit longer, maybe a couple more, just even like a couple more minutes.
Farley's gotten you in your head about that.
No.
I think you did it right.
It's tough.
I'm not trying to say it's wrong. I'm trying to say it's slightly different than what I had in my mind.
Okay. I mean,
Is that it?
well, almost, well, great. Well, so we rated the bread. Thanks a lot, guys.
Of course. Thank you for making it.
So on the Breadcast, I usually, if you've been listening to the latest episodes, the prequel trilogy, I've revealed I have a new segment called Surprise Pies.
Yes.
Yes.
I love it.
Very
Okay,
familiar.
good. I'm glad you're doing it.
Previously had to cancel the old segment Surprise Rise.
Right.
Understood.
But I'm excited to do surprise pies.
Oh, well, I unfortunately have some bad news. But I think this is also good news because this is BugCon making a big announcement about the Breakcast.
Yeah.
Wow.
I have a big announcement, and Surprise Rise is back.
Wow.
Surprise Rise! Yum, 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 yum.
And I just want to understand chronologically, these are prequels, and Surprise Rise is back. Is
No,
this
is this
technically
not
then
a
the
prequel?
first time?
This is
of-
technically not a prequel. This episode is not part of the canon
Oh,
of the broadcast. I'm sorry to
got
inform
it.
you. Evan,
it.
can you look behind you, actually, just behind your right shoulder?
There's no way there's anything behind my shoulder.
Not behind you. You're going to have to turn around. And I think behind those containers, there should be a little black box.
Okay.
Is the surprise that the single person that we don't know in the room has not left yet? Is that
Yes.
the surprise?
Well, this is really...
I'm personally surprised.
I'm surprised that that one of the guests I'm surprised I haven't left yet. Evan, you want to crack that open? This is a little bit different Surprise Rise this week. Evan, you wanted to try a croissant from the Marriott? Well, we got the next best thing, some pastries from the Marriott.
You didn't
Bake this? Are you kidding me? I was gonna do a joke that I was very insulted that there was no surprise rise.
Oh, man.
When you did your whole thing, but you didn't do as much of a lead up as you usually did.
Yeah, I didn't.
So I didn't get to do it.
I'm sorry.
Now I'm actually mad.
Oh, God. I'm really sorry.
I'll eat this.
Well, this is actually, you know what? Whose idea this was? You're tearing into it. There is a croissant in there. I got this from the little restaurant attached to the Marriott. We picked these up right before.
Now, did you let them know that we would be rating their pastries, or did you chicken out?
No, I didn't. They have a little tray up there, and they were like, you can go up there and pick
Were you
three.
originally planning to do something else, and then you just said, forget it?
I think this is a cool segment.
No.
It's cool to do.
But were days ago, you're like, okay, I've got my guests lined up. Here's what I'm going to do. At the last second, I'll buy the pastries that happen to be in the lobby.
I'm just trying to get a little taste of Burbank, the kind of world we're in.
Do you think this is a top 5 restaurant in Burbank? The airport.
I'd say this is a top 5 Burbank Marriott restaurant.
Okay, that's fair.
It was very crowded.
It's a
when we were
big
there.
hotel. It might not be.
So, Evan, what did you have? You had a croissant?
A croissant.
Yeah, can either of you guys say the word croissant?
What do you have? Farley, you're having Evan, you had a croissant. Croissant.
What is going on? You host the breadcast.
Croissant.
You guys gang an audience.
Dave, I have one of these things. What is this thing? This is a Danish.
Danish
Danish with a little jam in the middle of it. And there's also
I had some of the muffin.
Little blueberry muffin. I took a bite of this thing. Sorry.
That's fine.
You guys want to try it?
Totally fine. Totally fine.
Do you want to try any of the other things?
Yeah, can I try the croissant?
We'll try. Oh God. Wow.
I thought that Danish was pretty good.
They're all bad.
As you were saying, I thought it was pretty good. Evan Susser threw it down with malice on a paper blade.
I can't believe. Are you really that upset about this?
Yes. It was a big deal for me to come here. And
Parking was an issue.
Parking was hard. I was uncomfortable about being at BugCon in the first place, but I said, you know what? I'm going to get some good bread. And then you phoned it in.
Wow. Well, guys, what would we rate these pastries?
Not even going to rate them. Farley, you can rate them.
Okay.
We're still going on the flocks.
We're on the
scale.
one bird to 100 flocks. Individual or as a group in a box?
Well, Evan seems pretty steamed and looks like he's about to storm out of here. So maybe we should. It's whatever feels right to you.
Okay. I'll take them as an overall then. I think the croissant is probably the worst of the 3, but it's a pretty low bar.
Yeah.
In total, I would give this, if one is inedible, I would give this I'd give this like a 23 birds.
23 birds, so less
Out of
than
100.
1/4.
Less than a quarter of a flock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually thought these were okay in terms of like getting little pastries from a hotel restaurant. I mean, I would say this. I would give these a half a flock.
50%?
I mean, okay, you've talked me down. 40.
I said your number back to you and you backed away.
4/10. I would give him 4/10 of a flock.
Got it.
Can I rate the segment?
Yeah, please.
2.
Wow, 2.
2 birds.
2 birds. Just 2 birds out of 100.
Yeah.
Damn.
Now, what do you think?
Can I rate my overall experience?
No. Farley. Farley, what were you about to say? You were about to have something, a good insight to add to the show.
No. I wanted to ask you what you think the process is for how these pastries ended up here. Do you think they're baked on site? What do you think happens with these?
Not a chance.
I would guess they're baked. Yeah, they must be baked
There's
somewhere
a
else and brought in
Costco
every morning.
pretty
yeah.
close. That's where they come from.
So someone somewhere bakes this and thinks, this is pretty good. And then they put it on a truck and drive it to the Marriott.
I guess so.
Why do you think they think it's good? I think they just think this is my job to do.
You don't think anybody at any level of the process has pride in the thing that they're making?
No.
Okay. Because I know like Western Bagel, which is a Valley staple.
Sure.
They do white label products for like if you get a bagel on the West Coast at any Vons, it's made by Western Bagel. Same thing with Starbucks and stuff. Mm-hmm. I think that there's a certain amount of pride that they have.
Sure.
Even if those bagels
Very
aren't
different.
fantastic.
Very different.
Okay.
Well, I got news for you. These are from Western Bagel.
Oh, no!
These aren't from the Marriott. Just kidding. Yeah, it's interesting. I always wonder. I'm actually a big fan. I've talked about Albertsons before on the podcast of the bakery at Albertsons, and I always wonder where they get all that stuff from. If that's baked on site or if that's from some Albertsons bakery that gets brought there.
I think they're like par baked off somewhere else and like.
Evan, are you leaving?
I'll be back.
Evan is so upset about the croissant fiasco that he started to leave.
Wow, he got his phone?
I think
You went to get your phone?
Joe, I feel like you didn't give this your all, so I don't feel like I should give it my all.
Wow.
I feel like I can be kind of checked out.
Evan, can I give you a rating as a guest on the broadcast? Maybe I don't know if you want me to say this.
You can say it.
I'll give you a 3.
Wow, out of 100
100
birds, that's 3% of a flock.
Yeah. As a friend, you're 100. But as a guest on my podcast, you're a freaking 3, dude.
You're 100 too, Joe.
Thank you.
And my overall experience on the podcast, I would say 85.
80.
Yeah,
Okay,
pretty well.
that's pretty good.
Yeah. Just that one segment.
Yeah.
If given the opportunity to sit in front of a microphone, Evan's back up.
Oh, yeah.
He's in.
I was like, there's no way he's walking away from a chance to talk for a little bit. Well, great. Well, we tried the Marriott Surprise Rise. It was a bit of a disappointment.
Yeah.
I guess I should clarify something I did say earlier. I said that I have a special announcement and the Surprise Rise is back. I think you guys thought that my special announcement was that the Surprise Rise is back.
It seemed that way. Yeah.
I didn't mean I realize now that I misstated that.
Oh, what?
That was I simply just there was a conjunction in between those two phrases and I realized that you thought one caused
Yeah.
it.
There was a little bit of a pregnant pause now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, look, that's not a Joe's fib as we've had on the show before, but that was a Joe's misdirection. I intended to change that.
What?
What does that mean?
What that means is, typically surprise rise, when we have a second baked good on the show, we call that the surprise rise. Well, I'm excited to announce that we have a totally new segment where we will be trying a third baked good. It's called time for a segment I call Surprise Thrice.
Surprise thrice! Yum, 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 yum.
Joe, I love you. This is why you were 100% friend. I was coming into this and I said, I know he's not going to trick me with the surprise rise. When he does it, I'm going to do a whole show, but I know what's going on. You truly tricked me.
Wow, this is incredible.
I thought you had phoned it in. You know what?
Are you leaving again?
He's leaving out of happiness this time. He's gone back and is plugging his phone back into the wall
putting his
socket.
phone- oh my God.
He's re-engaged in the podcast. Wow.
What do we got?
It's such the ultimate sign of respect when somebody puts their phone down to say, I'm going to pay attention to you for a minute.
It is.
Is there anything a bigger gesture than that?
No.
No, I don't think so. Being a best man at a wedding, secondary.
Secondary.
Horrible.
Your best man a lot of time has his phone out the whole
Yeah,
time.
when they're doing their speech.
Oh, yeah. Click, click, click. Evan, do you want to look under the table to your left? There's a table to your left.
An
It's in
entire
front of
other
you.
table.
Do you see a container under there?
No.
I do.
We are
Get
gaining
it out,
followers
my
after
boy.
this huge
Yeah, this
turn.
is huge.
Okay, we've got... the people,
Truly, there is not enough seats for everybody who wants to come in and see
people
this.
are excited. The word about the surprise thrice has gotten around and people are streaming into the room.
And truly, it's an overwhelming amount of people who are coming in.
A cascade of listeners after Joe's huge
I don't know how they
misdirection.
knew that there was a surprise cookie segment.
Yeah. So here we go. I used the second half of the bag of the chocolate chip cookies I used from the pumpkin pie to make some classic chocolate chip cookies.
Wow.
Wow.
So these are similar to the pumpkin bread. These are just a good classic thing I made before. Also a big hit when you take it into the office. You know what? I'm gonna throw out something weird, and anyone in the audience that wants to try one can have one.
There may not
Wow.
be enough given the size of this audience, but
well, let's not
let's
get carried
hand them
away.
around.
There's
Let's-
about 25. There's 25 cookies. I don't know. I don't think we're anywhere.
Just to
near
be
that.
clear, though, the pumpkin bread is off limits.
Pumpkin bread is off.
There's been officially a rush on the cookies. I'm worried for my own safety. Now, can I ask you guys, do you guys have a particular philosophy regarding chocolate chip cookies? What you look for, what you like, what you don't like?
Yeah, the answer is yes.
Well, let's get into it.
I love a chewy cookie. I don't like a crispy cookie at all. What do you think?
I'm team chewy as well. I don't know if you guys had this on the West Coast. Growing up, Entenmann's were like a very popular brand with the
Oh, yeah.
little white box, super soft. Like I just would crush those as a kid. There's something about a slightly doughy inside of a cookie that I do prefer.
No, this is just people have continued to pile in here.
Yeah.
We're hearing about the cookies.
Unbelievable. Word has spread.
Guys are cookies if you'd like a cookie.
I think it's probably that people heard about the Americana presentation,
Right.
are just here to see the big picture.
It's also possible that the other event ended. I think we can't discount that theory.
This is kind of this is how the Breadcast gets most of its listeners.
Something
Else ends, and this auto plays.
People didn't stop fast enough,
Yeah.
so here they are. Now, do you think that this cookie lives up to your expectations of what you want a cookie to be?
I like this. This is my kind of cookie right here. This is like a little soft, a little burn, a little crispy, burned on the bottom. I don't know if burned is the right word, but toasted on the bottom.
I can't even evaluate them fairly because I'm just so excited they were here.
Wow, this is great.
I don't know if they're my favorite cookie, but I'm just so delighted. It made me not regret coming here, which was hard.
That was I got really excited when you got so mad about about the last surprise rise because I knew what
You
was
played
coming.
it well, Joe.
I knew it was coming.
Wow. A Joe's misdirection. if
Joe's
I've ever seen
misdirection.
one.
Well, just to say what's in these really quick. This is very simple. Let me see here. I mean, this is just butter, shortening, brown sugar, regular sugar, baking soda, salt, egg, vanilla, flour, chocolate chips.
You say just. That's a lot of
Yeah.
ingredients for a simple chocolate chip cookie. This is a particular recipe.
Oh, I guess I've baked a lot of more complex recipes.
Whoa.
The sleeves of your shirt almost just blew off as you flexed. That was incredible.
Yeah, I don't know. I think these are pretty good.
No.
Yeah, I think that they're somewhere between the softness of an Entenmann's and like a Chips Ahoy, which
Yeah.
is a little too crispy for me.
I agree.
I think this is a great middle ground,
No.
especially with just like a glass of milk or something. Not that I can't imagine drinking a glass of milk at 35 years old living in Los Angeles, but I might if I had this whole Tupperware at home.
Yeah. Evan?
I think it's good. I
Okay.
think that, if I'm being honest, I think I like the pumpkin bread more.
Okay.
But hey, why there should need to not be any competition.
Yeah.
These baked goods can lift each other up instead of tear each other apart.
That's a beautiful thought, I think.
Thank you.
Wow.
So, yeah, what would we rate this in terms of flocks?
50? I'm kidding, Joe. I would say maybe 75.
That's pretty good.
3/4 of a
50
flock.
isn't. I'm joking with you, but 50, if a full flock is the best cookie you've
Yeah.
ever had.
Yeah, I
And
would
this
say
would be in the 50.
75.
Yeah, I think
75
that's a good.
birds.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 70 birds.
Wow, I'm gonna go with 72.5.
Okay,
Smart.
right in the middle.
72.5. Well, great.
Well,
All right.
This has been a delight.
This has been great. You guys have been great guests. I don't have anything else for us to try.
Okay, great.
Thanks for being on the show. Do you guys want to share your Twitter handles real quick?
For BugCon, I honestly don't. But thank you for the offer.
Yeah, I'm good too.
Well, great. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks to my guests, Farley Elliott and Evan Susser. And thanks to BugCon 2019 for having us here. And I'm your host, Joe Saunders. Thanks for listening.
Thanks.
Hey.
The bread